Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review. And with this indie comic review, I'm reviewing something through Absolute Comics. And yes, I'm so glad it turned up, especially the lenticular cover. And it is absolutely gorgeous. And of course, this is the other cover, or in fact this is the other variant, which I really enjoyed over the regular cover. So I've got two variants here, and I really must admit I did enjoy this story. But you know, as with all my reviews, I do need to rate the covers, the art, and the story. So starting off with the covers. Do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something that's inside the story? Not quite, but even though not quite at all, it's absolutely gorgeous. To which I gave the first cover, the one on the left hand side, an 8 out of 10. And the lenticular cover, which is on the right hand side, a 9 out of 10. And that's an all over cover. Now it's time to move into the internal art. And I'll be showing some stuff around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. Now this is something around the beginning. And one thing I really like what they've done here, I think it's a real huge improvement from the first issue. Is that on the left hand side, even though I do ask for comic references, or I do like to look for comic references, well, I've already got them on the left hand side here as to where this picks up from and is connected to. And on top of that, we also have our cast of characters, and I really like how this has been done, especially with the cast of characters. Then we move into the first scene. Great job, Absolute Comics. I mean it. Now this is some art around the middle of the story, to which in this, the staff connected to this group are now going on a bit of a mission trip. And the cast is made up of Scope, or Ether, Scope, Locus, Tantrum, Slice. Silhouette is brought up and does make an appearance, but I'll come back to that later. And also Gazadora. Now I'll move to the end. And this is some of the art towards the end. I really like the work that they've done here. It really stands out, especially in a number of the pages. I don't know what drugs he's been taking, but you can see he's pretty beefed up. So, jumping into the rating for the art, I really like the art. It actually feels quite consistent within this story run so far. And I gave it 8 out of 10. Now, moving into the story, well, I've already covered some of the parts anyway. Not all of it, but some of it. Starting off with comic references, yes, we did get our comic references. And thank you so much to Absolute Comics. I appreciate that in my storytelling, to which I do enjoy. to which we had the reference to White Widow issue 5 and I Make the Boys Cry issue 1. Moving into time, one of the things that was addressed is when it started to move into one of the missions, to which you actually saw around midway through the story, is that the mission actually takes place at night. Now, in the story, now this is the only thing I sort of didn't bring up before, was some of the locations. Now, at the beginning of the story, everything sort of seems to start off moving into the headmistress's office in regards to all of these characters. Especially one being at the headmistress's office. Then we move into the dorm room and you actually learn something really nice about the dorm room. And I thought that was like a real good inventive way as to what they did with the dorm room. It sort of gave me a feeling like, ooh, it's almost like it's Charlie's Angels, but it's not. Plus a couple of other things. It still sort of reminds me a little bit like Centurions, but you know what? It's still great. It's still a good story. And I like the cast of characters. Then we end up moving to the British Channel near Thames, or near the Thames River. I think it is. And when the mission goes about, we see these characters go to an area which, when it first moves over to it, you originally think that you might be looking at a oil station out on the sea, but when it moves closer into the picture, you see that it's not. It's like a hideout that's really set out on the sea. So very clever thinking in regards to what the artist and the writer did here. The cast of characters being made up of Aoife, Scope, Locust, Tantrum, Slice, and Silhouette, who was believed to be dead, but does seem to actually make an appearance in this, because the character of Silhouette was believed to have died in the last issue, only to sort of like reappear in this issue. And this is where the character of Gazadora is sort of like they're trying to interrogate her. So you do actually get to see these cast of characters feel a little bit down, like they failed the mission because of it leading to a supposed death of a character, and now they carry that on their conscience. I definitely look forward to the next issue, as with the next issue I'm going to be collecting the series, but I'm going all lenticular covers. So big thanks to Absolute Comics and of course my LCS. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.